Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
I'm Caroline Hepker, and this is Here's Why, where we take one news story and explain it in just a few minutes with our experts here at Bloomberg.
Things go viral on social media, and they don't always make sense.
Labubu, the plush toy from China's Pop Mart, is a social media darling.
In Hong Kong, when you look at the investment bankers, like a lot of the female bankers, they were wearing Labubu keychains along with their Birkin bags.
We're also seeing a lot of spending shifting towards what we call the happiness economy. Collectibles, experiences, self-expression.
Adults are looking for a little joy, and they're finding it in these stuffed animals that might cost, $20, $30 a pop.
The toy that's taken the world by storm, it's Labubu, the mischievous-looking monster doll that has fueled a global collecting craze. Some are sold in mystery blind boxes, getting buyers hooked on hunting down rare models and completing full sets. Some editions fetch thousands of dollars on resale, and Pop Mart, the Chinese maker of the toy, saw revenue jump over 200% in the first half of the year, sending parents not unlike me around the world hunting for this hot toy. But there's a catch. Pop Mart's stock tumbled after a downbeat forecast, and analysts say toy crazes usually burn out within 2 to 3 years, not unlike Beanie Babies in the US 3 decades ago. So, here's why Labubus may not be here to stay. Our Asia Global Business Managing Editor Rachel Chang joins us now for more on this. Rachel, what has made this sharp-toothed, fuzzy little doll a global obsession? Why do people keep buying them?
To be honest, it's anyone's guess. I think the company itself is a little bit mystified by it. I think it's just some amount of nice design, some amount of celebrities spotting them. I think the original celebrity that really got them big was Lisa from Blackpink. And to be honest, it's also a huge amount of luck because there's so many of these little toy dolls around. And Labubu somehow have managed to hit on a particular mix in the culture right now that's really responding to these creatures.
How much money then is flowing into Labubus, both from buyers and also into the maker Pop Mart?
A huge amount of money, and I think that's been quite shocking, really, for the company. The original toy itself are quite affordable. The original version is something like less than 100 yuan, so that's about $14 each. But on the resale market, that price has just surged to such high amounts. You see Labubu was going for hundreds of dollars at a time. There was a record set for a life-size Labubu that went at auction for $150,000. And, there's such a vibrant secondary market for it as well. There's this thriving business of outfits for Labubus. A really famous recent example was Naomi Osaka, the tennis pro, who I think she reached the semifinals of the US Open, and every match she had a different bejeweled Labubu in a different tennis outfit that matched her own. And, these are like a whole industry of designers and makers that create these outfits for Labubus, which are making a lot of money as well. So the original company has really ballooned into a huge consumer company. At its peak, their market cap was something like $50 billion, which made them really the most valuable toy company really in the world. But that's a lot of fluctuations there. And I think the stock is definitely overbought. That has come down a little bit. But certainly for a company with only a couple of famous toys, it's quite incredible.
Even counterfeit Labubus have their own name, don't they? Fakes are called Lafufus. What do analysts then say about similar toy frenzies?
So the Labubu frenzy has definitely spread to other similar toys. So Pop Mart itself is launching a lot of other toy ranges and hoping that some of that demand carries through to their other toys. We also did quite a nice story around a Japanese monkey-like creature similar to Labubus called monchichis. So Lisa from Blackpink has been spotted wearing monchichis as well, and has been spotted shopping in a monchichi shop. And that company, the Japanese company behind monchichis, which is like a 20-year-old toy, has also seen a huge growth in demand and much more visibility thanks to the Labubu trend. So it does seem as if the Labubus are ushering a wave of demand for, particular animal-looking toys that can essentially be attached to accessories or bags as almost really a conspicuous consumption sort of item.
So is Pop Mart's success sustainable? I've heard the idea maybe of building out its intellectual property, going further.
I think that is really the question that is on everyone's mind right now. And the company, from talking to them, are well aware of this issue because, they're coming onto the scene just really with a toy, right? There's no IP attached to it. It's not like Disney where, there are movies, there are narratives, there are stories and theme parks. This is just a toy. Nobody knows the backstory. Nobody knows the characters. I think there has been some concern recently that, with the release of the new mini Labubu and a restocking of supply available, the prices in the resale market have dropped quite a bit as well. It does feel as if the peak of the frenzy has passed. And we do see those sorts of surges and declines quite often with some of these consumer goods, right? For example, limited edition sneakers, those used to be so expensive. Now the prices come back down. So for Pop Mart now, it really is about how do they extend this moment into a real business story. And they have talked about taking it slow and developing IP and working on theme parks. And they do have a lot of ideas, but there is a big question around whether or not this movement will continue.
Are there clues suggesting the hype may already be fading or cooling off?
There definitely are. So with the launch of the mini Labubus, which I think was last month, after that initial surge of demand around it, resale prices for Labubus have come down at least about 20 to 30%. And it does seem like in the culture, as I mentioned, Lisa from Blackpink, different celebrities, they're now being spotted with other sorts of toys, right? Not just Labubu. So it does feel as if the peak is passing. And, a lot of people are drawing comparisons, for example, to the Beanie Baby toys, which were crazy in the US about 3 decades ago in the 1990s. At that time, we saw resale prices, parents really going crazy trying to get these toys for their kids. We saw resale prices really surge of these Beanie Baby toys before pretty much fading within about 4 years. We're not really sure what the future of Labubu is, but definitely there are signs that that's fading. Now the question is, can they become one of those toys that essentially can keep going? For example, Barbie dolls, right? Or even IP connected toys like Star Wars figurines, where the demand can just keep going.
Rachel Chang, our Asia Global Business Managing Editor, thank you. For more explanations like this from our team of 3,000 journalists and analysts around the world, go to bloomberg.com/explainers. I'm Caroline Hepker. This is Here's Why. We'll be back next week with more. Thanks for listening.